Oh, God, why is lighting so trash in here? Let me, maybe, electrical lighting may help a bit, but, no, hold on. Maybe not. Okay, so, what's up, y'all? Sparta here. Sorry for that minor. There's really no good fucking note. If you want to, you want to have good lighting in your house for videos, don't ever fucking record in front of windows. They'll just fuck it up. Not only that, but okay, that's better. All right, sorry about that minor thing. What's up, y'all? Sparty here. I want to talk about the iPhone 8 and 8 Plus. Specifically, I think it's the 8 Plus that is having this problem of splitting open, what people are calling split gate or whatever. Now, this isn't me about to be all, snarky, Android fanboyish on Apple or anything like that. This is mainly just for me to talk about exactly how I feel about it. And as you guys can see, I'm actually in my house, but I'm not outside or anything like that. But it's so there have been 10 cases of the iPhone 8. I think it's specifically the 8 Plus, but I'm gonna just say 8, just so I don't have to have a billion words come out of my mouth at one time. The iPhone 8 splitting open, or you put it on the charger and it splits open, or right out of the box it's split open. Kind of, well, not even like similar, but like kind of how like the Note 8 had its battery issue, where they would, the battery would expand from the inside and catch fire, right? Now, there's been reports that Apple is using the same batteries that the Note 7, not the same batteries, but batteries from the same manufacturer of the batteries that made the Note 7's battery, right? So my thing is, if that's the case, why would Apple even go with that manufacturer in the first place? And I think another thing that I want to say, sorry for me rubbing my face every 5 seconds, is that I think this has to do with Apple, you know, making too many iPhones at once. I just think they're making too many iPhones at once. Now, don't get me wrong, I understand. I understand wanting to be on time for the 10th anniversary of the iPhone. I get that. But did you really have to make three phones if the front facing camera will stay focused and not be blurry? Wait, did you really have to make three different iPhones? Could it have been far more easy? And this isn't just like something that's wrong with the iPhone 8 and 8 Plus. The iPhone 10 is also having production issues. Not specifically with the battery. Who knows what it is? It's probably, let me sit the fuck up. It's probably have something to do with the screen technology and all that stuff. And it also probably has to do with the simple fact that they're producing three fucking iPhones. So there's probably more and more issues with production when it comes to Apple producing three I wouldn't say different, three different iPhones at the exact same time. And you could say, well, Samsung does it, but here's what Samsung does. They do release three phones per year now, three flagships per year. But they have two at the beginning of the year and one at the end of the year, right? Two are the S8, S8 Plus. The third is obviously the Note. And you can say what you want. Oh, they're all just similar and stuff like that. Yeah, sure. But it's also Like, would it have booned Apple to release the iPhone 8 and 8 Plus in somewhere around June or something like that, right? And release the iPhone 10 and announce the iPhone 10 then, right? But then release it on the 10th anniversary of the iPhone. Wouldn't it have been so hard for them to do that just so they wouldn't have to have all these production issues with the iPhone 10, have these split gate issues with the iPhone 10 and iPhone 10. See, this is the problem with having three different fucking products. iPhone 8 and 8 Plus. Would it have been so hard to just be like, okay, we released the iPhone 8 and the iPhone 8 Plus in June or July or closer to where, maybe even earlier than the Note. Do that, then come out with the 10 on the 10th anniversary of the iPhone because it's the 10th anniversary iPhone, right? You would at least have 4 months to have that. Yeah, I had to count it out. Sorry. But you would have had at least 4 months to weigh your options, to figure out production kinks and issues and stuff like that, and be able to, you know, get all that done. And I don't necessarily think it has anything to do with, because I think they also had issues with just having one ready so that they can have a demo unit to show on stage and stuff like that, as they did, which can also be a factor of it. But honestly, I just think that Apple could have figured this out better. You know, for people to not want the iPhone 10, go to the iPhone 8 and 8 Plus and have this issue. Or even, sure, it's 10 out of probably like a million iPhones or hundreds of thousands of iPhone 8s out there, but it's still an issue that it's the same issue that a lot of like Note fanboys said with the Note 7. Mine isn't doing that, so it's not a problem. It is a problem because it's a possible problem for people that buy a brand new Note. Sure, yours is not affected, but this person with a Note 7, I don't remember if I said Note 8 or Note 7. This Note 7 over here and over here and over here have the issue. Just because yours doesn't make it an issue altogether. It's still an issue, which is why it got recalled. Do I think the iPhone 8 and 8 Plus need to be recalled? No, not yet. Not at the moment. Do I see this as a win for Android? Fuck no. I don't see it as a win, period, because it's just like that fanboy shit's dumb for one, and for two, mm, people that spend over six, seven, $800, $900, $1,000, depending on where you buy the iPhone 8. I don't think it's a great issue to have. It's obviously not a great issue. It's not a matter of opinion. It's fact that it's not a great issue to have, especially when your new phone is already having production issues, right? And should be coming out within the next month or so, right? So my thing is, if Samsung had the same fucking issue last year and ended up having the same issue this year, guess what? There would be no more Note after that. There's obviously going to be iPhones after this. But will it be a thing of if there, and keep in mind, there's always going to be production issues with phones, with technology in general, right? The Xbox 360 is a prime example. The red ring of death, right? Heat issues, right? That's something that happened. Microsoft tried to manufacture too many at once, too fast to undercut the fucking PlayStation 3, and what happened? Millions, or I don't know if it was millions, but a good amount of Xbox 360s had malfunctions, right? While sure, a lot of people with the PS3 also had the issue of the yellow light of death, but it's not as widespread as the red ring of death was, right? Another thing, when it comes to this, I think the whole argument that making phones thin needs to stop. Yeah, but I also think people also say, well, if it had a removable battery, first of all, Apple never had a removable battery, so I don't even think that's an issue because they've only really had like battery. I think they had battery issues once before that. I think with the iPhone 5, I don't remember. It was one of the, and of course, the light behind me is getting brighter. But sure, they also had issues with the iPhone 5 or whatever iPhone also had battery issues with it catching fire. I'm not going to say exploding because that's exaggerated as shit. But when it comes to this, I don't necessarily think Apple's in trouble because one, it happened before and people were still buying iPhones in droves. And sure, nobody's necessarily flocking for the iPhone 8 and 8 Plus, but it's still a thing that people are still buying the iPhone 8 and 8 Plus. They still are. So if this keeps happening, what will happen? More and more iPhones will come up as doing this, right? Unless they're iPhones that were manufactured even earlier, right? Not earlier, late, closer to where you bought, closer to the time frame that someone bought. Oh my god, sorry, I'm tired. That someone bought, yeah, that someone bought their iPhone, right? That's all I'm really saying. But yeah, I'm not saying it's a non-issue. If Google were to have the issue with the Pixel 2, it would still be a problem. If it were to be an issue with the V30, problem. If it were to be an issue with the Note 8, definite problem because it would be 2 years in a row that would be happening. And I'm glad that's not the case because I do fairly enjoy the Note 8. But that's pretty much all I really have to say. Dear Android fanboys, don't take this as a fucking win. Because last year, with your ever coveted Note 8, you guys were pretty much, you know, oh my god, crying over the shit, right? Saying how it's the best phone ever when it's not the best phone ever. Fucking exploded. Well, no, I just said not to over exaggerate it. Would it fucking caught fire? Like I'm just like don't see this as a win for Samsung or Android or anything like that because it's not. It's an L for the industry. It's a win and a loss for the industry. It's a win due to the fact that people are now seeing that thinner phones does not mean better phone or sexier phone or more durable phone. It's also showing that people need to do more shit in house as well. And not to say to like massively cut jobs left and right. I might actually have to turn my fucking living room light off because it's making a bit too bright. But I'm sorry, I'm getting comfortable. I'm on my couch and I'm getting ready to get to sleep. But um, which is kind of what vlogs are, going through the daily life, right? But as far as this goes, actually, God, there is no good fucking vantage point, is there? Yeah, that actually worked out better. But I guess I could barely tell. Fuck it. Uh, there's no winner, no loser in this situation, really. Like no definite winner. Just because iPhones are exploding does not mean people are gonna flock to the Note, flock to the Pixel, flock to the V30, flock to any HTC phone or Moto phone. That doesn't mean that's what they're gonna do. Especially if people don't capitalize, but that's another thing entirely. As I said, no definite winner in that regard. But when it comes to what Apple needs to do, they need to get their shit together. Because there are plenty of other reasons why people don't want the iPhone 8 and 8 Plus and don't want the iPhone 10. It has nothing to do with the hardware. It has a lot of things to do with the software, as well as that notch at the top at the fucking, that is hardware. Excuse me. Yeah. But they're not realizing that if you want people to take you seriously, honestly, they might have to do more stuff in house. They might have to create their own battery tech. They just might have to. Hell, LG makes their own batteries. They've been doing that for years now. And have you ever really heard any issues? They made fucking curved batteries for the G Flex, and have you ever heard those batteries exploding? Of those batteries exploding? Maybe they should go with LG for battery tech. I don't know. If they don't want to do legitimately everything in house, I get that. But you also, a lot of what Steve Jobs' philosophy was having a lot of stuff in house so that you don't have all these outliers and all this miscommunication between multiple other companies, right? Now that they're finally creating their own chips in house, maybe they should look into creating their own batteries, producing their own batteries. That would make battery life better. That would make battery efficiency better. That would do all this stuff and also prevent, shit like this from happening. But yeah, that's pretty much it as far as this goes. This is Sparta. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for the support. Hope you guys have a wonderful, it's Sunday, or whatever day it is in your area. Have a good one. Not